Welcome to Coach Dave's Turn Academy. These are the videos ending December 16th, 2018. Hope you enjoy them. Hope you learn something. Let me know. With DB, we've been working on quite a few changes. One of the most dramatic ones was trying to keep her head a little quieter, a little more centered, and trying to get a good wrist hinge. She was stopping with the club head way early. She wasn't getting any hinge at the top of her backswing. So we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to play this forward in slow motion, and you're going to see the work she's put in. I'm going to go to the top in nice slow motion here. Still, we got a little head movement going on here, but look at the hinge right there. Now, I'm telling you, she used to stop with the club shaft going up that way. There's a big difference. She's very flexible. She's got a little more left arm bend than she needs. But look how much shoulder turn she's pulled off here. That's a really nice move she's done. Now we're going to continue the swing down to the impact where her head comes back to where she was at setup. That's a new move. Pretty good extension there. We're working a little bit more on extension. And then again, she's going to relax and let the club release a little bit. The release isn't quite as much as we hoped for, but she's doing a really good job. Congratulations. One of the things we've been working on is to get her arms hanging straight down from her shoulders, a little bit more than that, and the club shaft to be at about a 144-degree angle. You'll see that diagram here just to the right of her a little bit. So we need to get her hands a little closer to her thighs. When I tell her to get her hands lower, she's not bringing them in so that the hands are hanging at least under the chin. Now you can see if I draw a straight line down under the chin, right there, straight down, the hands are well outside that line. But the chin is over the toes like it's supposed to be. So we can just get her to move her hands a little closer. She's going to be in a better position to swing the kind of swing that she's trying to do. Let's go ahead and clear that out of the way and draw in her swing plane. And we'll draw in her back angle. We'll do that in blue because she's wearing blue. Okay. Notice they're at about 90 degrees, so she's in a pretty good position right there. If the hands were down a little bit more, she'd get a little more fling. She's trying to get some more distance, and that would increase her ability to kind of fling the head of the club out towards the target a little bit. All right, we're going to play this slow motion, 8th speed. Let's see what's going on here. Taking the club back on the plane pretty nicely. Little lifting there. And back down again. Not bad impact, but pulling the arms in. Let's back up a little bit. You can see as she's coming in here, the arms don't get extended. See, notice the right hand doesn't get long. She's not reaching for the target. She's pulling her arms in, not letting them get away from her. And here she's pulling her left arm in behind her. The left arm needs to stay in front, and then the club would get released better. The other thing we're going to notice is the top of her backswing, how she's not getting any hinge. You'll see in the other video that she worked on after a few minutes how she got a hinge where that club head now was pointing straight down the target line. So we're going to try to create that 144-degree angle we see over there on the right. Obviously, we're still trying to keep the head still so she doesn't lift up and out of the shot. She drives her left shoulder under her chin on the backswing and then gets some hinge. Here we can see a pretty good setup position. He's been working really hard on straightening out his back so he's not so rounded. He's in a good position right there. I'd still like to see his left knee a little closer to the ball. He tends to open those knees a little bit. And some of that's because he flares out his left foot, which is quite all right. His hands are hanging freely under his chin, just in front of his toes. And the shaft of the club is pointing up to his belly button, or maybe just a little bit below where it belongs. Let's go ahead and draw in our swing plane. We'll do it in red. And we'll advance it at slow speed and see what's going on. Taking the club straight back. Notice that there's no rotation. He's not leaving the swing plane. Then he's going to get a little vertical. That's the two part of the conventional swing. But he doesn't come back down enough. That's why the ball's going pretty high. He's coming in really steep. We'll back that up again, and I'll show you what I mean by that. When he's here, the lead arm is dead parallel to the swing plane. I'll do that in blue. You can see that's a really nice parallel line there. What he needs to do is reroute the club under that blue line, between the blue line and the red line, as close to the red line as he possibly can. And we'll see what he does as he stays over the top of it. See how it's outside that? Then he's coming in, so he's coming in really steep there. Instead of sweeping the club from inside, good impact. And then the finish, notice, isn't on that plane anymore either. So because he's come in so steep, instead of the shaft being on a continuation of that swing plane, it's way up in the air. So we're going to get him to be a little bit more two-plane. So on the backswing, he goes back and up. So the backswing will be back and up, and the downswing has to be down and back through again. This golfer's been really struggling finding the bottom of his swing. Either he's really fat, catching the ground real early, or he's thin. He does best when he swings as hard as he possibly can. I think that's because he gets less mechanical. But what we're going to start with here is the setup. You can see that he's got a forward tilt at the hips. The lead shoulder should be parallel or inside the hip line. And you can see it's his trail shoulder that's inside the hip line, not his lead shoulder. His lead shoulder is well outside. So what's going to happen, because he's so far outside, is he's actually going to sway even further with the lower body to the away side of the swing, or the takeaway side of the swing. So we're going to move this back. Pretty active hands there, but you can see how the hips are moving away from the ball, away from the target. We need him to keep his hips inside that trail blue line and against that lead blue line, not tipping over and creating this, I don't know what you call it, a kind of a C here. See what I mean? He's got a nice curve going on there. We need him to rotate his hips so that the hips go that way. Then he's behind the ball instead of in front of the ball. Now he's going to be coming in so steep that it's really difficult to find the ball and the bottom of the swing at the same time. So we're going to see he's going to jump forward, holding his leg pretty well. Now he's past the ball. You can see his head is past the ball. Actually catches it pretty good there, just a little bit fat maybe. We'll go ahead and put a little mark here. There's the ball. And there you can see, when he's all done, you'll see where the divot is. See how the divot's back here. So he has got a little bit fat. Now he hasn't moved his lower body up into the swing at all. We'll clear everything out of the way. The lower body has to drive into the swing so that the lower body gets over. Great arm extension. But if he's going to fix that bottom of the arc situation, he's going to have to learn how to throw the pelvis, the belly button, the belt buckle, whatever you want, to the stick being the target. Not being like this, where he's still behind the ball. His hands haven't even reached the ball yet, and he's already hit it with the head of the club. So he's coming in way too steep and scooping. That's a power robber. He's a big, strong guy. That should never be an issue for him, is power. So we're going to go back to the beginning, clear everything out of the way, and we'll just play the swing. Now you watch right here, the hips are going to move away from the target. See that? Look at the fence spot. Whoa, it's a big move. Back to the target, steep, and then flipping and pulling up and out of the shot. We need to get him to be a little more around and a little less vertical. Dave has a tendency to get a little stuck on his forward and downswing, where he ends up the upper body rotating ahead of the lower body, and the lower body gets trapped behind him, so he can't extend his arms. Look at this setup. You see how long and straight, and what a nice triangle he has set up here at impact. What we need him to do is really work on carrying that triangle throughout the whole swing. As he rotates, we want that triangle to stay as solid as it is here. So we're going to go ahead and play this in slow motion, and you'll see the breakdown of the triangle. on the forward part of the swing. Good steady head, a little bit of movement, not bad. See the triangle staying intact. He's worked really hard on getting that nice long triangle. The trail arm is below the lead arm. Starting to move it in. He's looking good. Right before here, right there, he's looking really good. But watch what happens now as he comes into the ball. They start to break the triangle down, and then he really breaks it down because the lower body isn't rotating. We've got to be rotating. The legs have to be rotating that way. He's braced up against his lead side. He hasn't moved into the target zone. He's not really getting a release. So we've got to get him to release that club, turn everything rotates, not just the upper body, so that when he's done, instead of being where he is there, I want him up here. He's got to get forward.